Alright, today I'm gonna bring you another collab video. This time it is with Stephanie Donna. I will link her video in the description. We decided to get together to do a fall look for you guys. She's doing more of a high-end fall look, and I'm doing a drugstore cheaper version. And anyways, so I met her on Facebook. We're part of this group. She started this group called Beauty Bloggers United. So if you're interested in that, please check us out. And definitely go check out Stephanie Donna. Like I said, her link will be in my description. And here's a sneak peek at her look. So please go check her out. And this was the look that I did. So if you're interested in seeing how I accomplished this one, please stay tuned. All right, first things first, let's prime the eyes. I'm using e.l.f.'s dollar eye primer. I have done a thin layer of foundation because I'm extremely broken out and I was feeling a little self-conscious about it. But I did a thin layer so that I could do another layer after I'm done with my eyes. Alright, first we're going to go in with LA Colors right here. We're going to take this nudish color right here and we're just going to fluff that all over the eye with this e.l.f. Blending eye brush. Looks like that. Next, we're going to go in with the Wet n Wild Art in the Street. So we're going to pick this orange color out and we're going to lightly, because these are very pigmented shadows, we're going to lightly apply that all over the lid and slightly above the crease. Remember to keep your eyes open when you're working with your crease, especially if you have hooded lids. That way you can actually see where the shadow is going. Alright, next we're going to blend that color out. We're going back to this LA Colors palette and we're going to go to the, I don't know, orangey-ish, whatever color that is, right here in the middle.
Okay, so I have two of these brushes. I have one for darker color crease colors and one for like the transition and lighter colors on the top. So I'm going in with it's the same eye blending brush, it's just this one I use for darker colors. So, but I'm going to put that color on my brush.
And it just blends it out. It's just slightly lighter so it gives it that faded effect. Alright, next we are going to take our City Lights. This is a City Color palette. I got this for $1.99 at collab. So we are going to go in first with this color right here, and we're going to put that all over our lid with the
e.l.f. eyeshadow brush. It is just a flat brush, like so. Once again, I have two of these. I have one for lighter colors, one for darker colors. And right now I'm going to get my brush wet, well damp. So I just dab it in some water, then I rub the excess water off the back of my hand and make sure my brush is damp. And I just pick up the shadow and place it on the lid. This will give it more pigment and more of a foiled look.
and I am leaving the outer corner of my eye because I'm going to put a darker color there. Alright, next I'm going to go in with this LA eyeshadow palette that I also got from the dollar store. P.S. this one's from Walmart. I forget how much it was, just a couple of dollars. And I'm going to take this darkest shade in this palette, which is this brown right here. And I'm going to go in with my e.l.f. professional eye crease brush, which is this kind of thin, sort of like a pencil brush, just not as pointed. And I'm going to just dab that right into my crease. So I'm going to, I have hooded eyes, so I'm going to open my eye, I'm going to put it in the corner, I'm going to lower my eye, and I'm going to go back and forth. And blend downward.
And how I like to clean up my corners is I use these sponges from the dollar store. They're cheap and I can throw them away after each use because I have breakout problems. I love my foundation brush, but sometimes these just work great. So I use an old one that has leftover foundation, the one I used earlier, and I just stamp it and kind of clean up that outer corner if it's bothering you. And you don't want to wait until you're done.
Alright, next we are going to go back to this palette, the City Lights, and we are going to go into this color right here.
And we are going to take our eyeshadow brush that we were using earlier for that pre-bronzy orangey color. And so there's still product left on this, so I'm just going to wipe it on the back of my hand. Sometimes I do this on the, on my hand, and the grooves kind of clean it off. You can see that. Excuse me. Just to clean off excess product. And I am going to get my brush ever so damply. Again, very, very damp this time. You want it almost dry. So to do that, I just kind of rub it back and forth until it feels almost dry. Because I want it to pick up some color, but I don't want it to be super concentrated where I can't blend it out. So I'm just gonna put, read. Are we done?
I'm just gonna put that on this and I'm going to shape the outer V as far as stamping it first on there and kind of dragging it inwards like so. With this clean, this is the e.l.f. eyeshadow C brush. It is just like an eyeshadow brush, but a little bit fluffier and denser. And I'm going to lightly, with a light hand, blend out the edges.
And I'm going to go back into this LA Colors dark round here, and I'm going to just ever so lightly darken up the corner by stamping the color directly on where I need it to go. Just the outer V. So that just kind of darkens it up just a little bit. If you find that you're not getting as much pigment, feel free to dampen your brush. Mine is coming out fine, so I am not going to.
All right, next we are going to go in with this top color here.
Like I said, I have two different brushes. So this is for, see all that shadow on my hand, sorry. So this is for the light colors I use, so it's the same, it's e.l.f. eye blending brush.
And I'm going to pick up a pretty color here, the one we went in with earlier, the very first color, and I'm gonna ever so lightly dab it in this yellow. And then I'm just gonna go underneath my brow.
the brush. Sorry, I'll use my other hand that has shadow all over it. It's really, really skinny. Hence the name. So just put your liner on however you would like. I also would recommend if you don't, like, see your eyeshadow's looking really good and eyeliner kind of scares you a little bit, or you're not feeling like messing it up, just go ahead and get like a brush. I really like this e.l.f. eyeliner brush. Once again, sorry about that eyeshadow on my hand. It's really thin. You can get this damp and put it in some dark brown shadow and just go and do your liner that way. It blends out really nicely with the other shadows, and it's not so harsh.
I'm gonna go ahead and do my under eye area, and for that I'm going to use the flat eyeliner brush. There's some differences in some of these brushes. The thickness, I have two of them like I said. One's really thin and one's a little bit thicker because one of the ferrule's pinched down a little bit more. So I'm gonna use my thin one. I just mentioned that so when you're buying them and say you want it for an eyeliner brush and you end up getting a thick one and you don't really like it, you can try looking for a little bit of a thinner one. So I'm gonna go in first with, and I'm gonna be using both these colors from this palette right here that we used. I'm gonna be using this color first and then this darker color next, right over the top. So I'm gonna just put that on the very tip of the brush. I'm gonna go underneath my eye. And I'm gonna bring it in, not all the way, but kind of a little past the middle. And make sure you're meeting up with that eyeshadow on the top. Alright, next I'm going to go in with that darker color in that same brush, and this time I'm just going to bring it in to the middle of my eye, and I'm going to go right over that previous color, and I'm going to blend them together. So, now that's done, we're going to brighten our under eyes, because for me, whenever I do a look, especially a smoky eye, it just is important to brighten my under eyes. So I'm going to be using, first is the NYX Dark Circle Corrector. This is in light. I'm going to be using this Max Coverage Concealer Brush. This is just a really old concealer brush, so whatever concealer brush that you have or that you use for your under eyes, go ahead and use it. And the warmth of my hand is going to blend it out even more. Just dab, don't rub, because you just want to blend out any lines that the brush left. Next, I'm going to go in. I've been using this. A friend gave this to me and I really enjoy it. It's Garnier Skin Renew Dark Circle Roller. It just looks like this. Like a mini face massage. Oh, except when you poke your eye out. We're going to highlight the inner corner of my eye. To do that, I'm going to be using the e.l.f. concealer brush somewhere. Right here, it is the professional concealer brush. It's just this very tiny brush. I use it for highlighting underneath my brow and for the inner corner. For the inner corner highlight, I am going to be using that LA Colors palette that we're doing. I'm going to be using the yellow. For inner corner, I like to get my brush damp. So I'm going to be using the Wet n Wild Max Volume.
By finishing this look up, I am going to go in with my contouring blush and bronzer powder. This is in St. Lucia's, and I'm going to be using the I'm going to be using the e.l.f. blush brush. It looks like this. It's a little bit of a tapered brush, so it is perfect for contouring. I'm going to go into the darker powder and contour my cheeks a little bit.
I'm going to go back into the St. Lucia's and I'm going to be using the blush in this, and I'm going to be using, this is the Up and Up blush brush, and I'm just going to apply a little bit of that on the cheeks and blend it into the contour. Alright, something I like to use for highlight
is, and I don't always highlight because I have oily skin, and so sometimes highlight is not the best thing for me because I'm natural highlight. Anyway, so walking on eggshells. Now this has two colors in it that are super pretty for highlight. This light color up here and this pink color right here. Depending on what kind of highlight you want, all I do is I just dab my finger in it and then kind of just dab it on my cheek. So I will
show you. Just I pick up a tiny bit of the product on my finger, and then I dab them together like so, and then I ever so lightly just dab it on the top of my cheek, and my nose, chin. So let's move on to lips. Now I do have chapstick on, so there's that. I'm going to be using, the only lip brush I have right now is this e.l.f. lip brush I got from the dollar store. It is not a very good lip brush. I have chopped it down to give it a point, and not very well, I might add. We're gonna go on with this LA Colors Chunky Lip Pencil. I got this for 50 cents at Dollar General, and it is in the color Burgundy. I'm just gonna lightly align my lips. Alright, now I'm going to go in with this Maybelline lipstick in mauve. It's really old. And I'm gonna use that same lip brush, and I'm just gonna apply this all over the lips. Next, I'm going to go in with this NYC Expert Last in Sugar Plum.
I received this last year in a Vox box, my Frosty Vox box from Influencer, and I was pleasantly surprised at this lipstick. I'm going to apply this to the corners, sorry, brush her, and blend inward.
So that is it for for today's look. I hope you liked it, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.
My fall look, it's like a pumpkin spice latte. What do you think? I don't really know because I don't like pumpkin spice latte. Does that make me weird?